Well, hello, friends, and thank you for joining me this evening. Well, on the back of many conversations that are going on online about Medjugorje and this latest Nihil Obstat, we thought we'd chip in and we'd have a conversation around the same thing. And joining me from Medjugorje is my friend, Katty Hurstich. Hello, Katty. Welcome.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
I'm not too bad. It's been a wee while since we've had a conversation. Both you and I have been very busy with other things. But we're super excited about the great news that came out of the Magisterium about this latest Nihil Obstat. How exciting is this?
It's been fantastic, Carol. This is a huge grace. Thank God for Cardinal Fernandez speaking out and going through the different things and speaking on behalf of the church, because there were very divided voices, weren't they? Like,
yes,
for and against. And something needed to be said. And thanks be to God, they investigated and they've given their voice to the things that we're trying to be encouraging people, isn't it? To look at the divine will. And we keep saying what a grace it is to come to Medjugorje. It's a place of grace, huge grace. And let's go back to March this year, or April, when they had a divine will retreat in Knock. Because many people say, you know, it's all Our Lady. So Our Lady of Knock is really tied into the divine will as well. So Tony Hickey and some people had a retreat in Knock. And from that retreat, because remember going back, it was the 100 masses for the Holy Souls.
Enough. Yes.
Yeah, Our Lady appeared after the 100 masses. So then people decided to get 100 masses said, divine will masses, a priest who lives in divine will, that he would say 100 masses. And so that started in March on the anniversary of Luisa's death and finished in June. And as soon as we came to June, the Nihil Obstat for the divine will came through. It was officially recorded in July, but it was known from June that the cause was open again. So look at the 100 masses, you know, so the value of the mass.
Yeah.
And then when we came to Medjugorje in July, you put Our Lady's message up and you immediately said, Our Lady's so joyful. This message in July is...
There was almost a change in her messages.
You could see, yeah, the big change, that Our Lady was so joyful and hopeful. And then, Carl, let's go back to January, the start of the year, when Our Lady called us to prayer, because this is the year of prayer. So she responded to the Holy Father's call to pray for the lead up to the Jubilee year next year. So 3 hours of prayer in January, like for a reason, you know.
Yes.
And look how Our Lady, you know, gets us to listen to the Holy Father.
Yes.
So
how obedient she is.
Behind the Holy Father, he's trying to teach us love and mercy. But do we listen? You know, there's such opposition as well. And this is not right. We can't be a house divided.
Yes.
You know, we all have to be on the same page. So now in Medjugorje, you have the Bishop of Mostar, you have the papal visitor here in Medjugorje, and you have the Vatican on the same page.
Yes.
They agree that there are fruits, very good fruits in Medjugorje. So I think we're going to get somewhere now.
Yes.
You know, because the people living here, we know like that it's a huge place of grace. And why should somebody really speak about it if you've never been here? You know, if you've never been here, why judge it? Everybody needs to come here because it's an experience. You've got to come to the place. And as Father Leon says, if you come here and you end up praying the rosary, going to mass, going to confession, that's all there is here. Climbing mountains, doing the Stations of the Cross. Satan wouldn't want that.
No.
That makes sense. And all the good fruits that come from Medjugorje.
Yeah, and also, you know, the Vatican had ruled that, you know, the alleged apparitions that happened at the beginning seemed authentic, but there was a bit of confusion, I would say, around whether the current apparitions are authentic. But I think, you know, those of us who've been to Medjugorje and we have witnessed the apparitions, I've witnessed them over the 20-odd times that I have been there. There have been several times where there has been manifestations of the darkness when Our Lady has appeared, Kathy, right? So even though, you know, the church hasn't approved of these current ones, the evidence can suggest that they are still happening, right?
Yeah, because that's a sign. That's what I'm saying. Like Jesus said, Satan can't do the opposite of, what he normally does. So
Yes.
when holiness is there, evil doesn't want to be in the presence of holiness, and it starts manifesting.
Yes.
So we know that the holiness is there.
Yeah.
So as you say, it only seems to happen in Medjugorje. I didn't see that in some other place. So there's many signs and the good fruits that come from Medjugorje that confirm it. But I'm saying you just come to Medjugorje to pray the rosary, to go to mass, to live your faith. That's all that's here.
Yes. It's
We're
get
on
back to
course.
the basics. Get back to the basics. Well, Kathy, it's going to be an exciting year next year within the church. It's going to be the Jubilee of Hope. So, the world is in some way is in a real state right now. But on the other side, we have this real surge of great things happening within the church, a collision of things. We have, of course, divine will and this Jubilee. Speak into that a bit.
So, Carol, next year people are called to go on a pilgrimage to travel to Rome. And it's a year of reconciliation. So Our Lady has come to reconcile everybody with God, so that there's peace. And so all Catholics are called to go to confession and mass, and go on pilgrimage next year. And also the local Bishop of Mostar has invited the Pope to come and visit us.
How
A really
exciting.
heartfelt invitation. So it would be fantastic. We're so close to Rome. It's such a short plane trip to Mostar.
Yeah.
And we're just up the road. So it'd be so fantastic if the Pope wanted to come and pilgrimage to Our Lady, because I'd really like him to see that Our Lady of Medjugorje is mother, is a loving, merciful mother. She's not, postmistress with loads of messages, We need those messages, Carol. Like, God doesn't give us anything we don't need. So Our Lady comes with the message because we need those messages. The priests are well founded in theology and the Bible, but most laity who are not going to mass, they need easy messages now to learn their faith quickly and to come back and reconcile, to come back to the mass, to come back to confession, which is the most important. So Jesus has authority to forgive sins. He's given that authority now to the priest. So if people want to be freed of their sins, they need to go to confession to the priest. And Medjugorje is called the confessional of the world.
Yes.
So next year is that year of mercy, where it's perfect year for a pilgrimage. So anybody who hasn't been to Medjugorje, perfect time to come. And Rome is so close. So Rome and Medjugorje, perfect.
Well, we're living in such graceful times, to say the least. And little do we expect that 2024 would bring these two Nihil Obstat. First, divine will on Luisa's cause for beatification being reopened. And of course, this next from Medjugorje. So I am super excited about what the future holds for us. And as you said, the messages that Our Lady has given us are simple, right? They are about going to mass, honoring the sacraments, going to confession, the cornerstones of our faith. So we need to continue to do it, continue to pray our rosary every day, and again embrace this new the new year and the Jubilee.
Been reconciled to God through the Catholic Church.
Yes.
And then that's why the Holy Father is so important for us, to listen to his voice. The Magisterium has spoken now.
Yes.
And anybody who's speaking against that is harming the church.
Yes.
And most of the people that are speaking against Medjugorje have never been here.
Yes.
So, we live here, we see everything that happens. And Our Lady tells us there's much more responsibility on us who live here. That's why I have to speak out, because we know the truth, and we see all the fruits, we see all the miracles all the time. So, I have to speak up, and it can only be from God. God does healing, so Satan would be going against himself to do the things that we see in Medjugorje.
I don't know about you, friends, but I am super excited what the future holds for us as Catholics. We have so much to be grateful for, Kathy. We've so much to embrace in the future. So it's an encouraging thing that's come out of Rome. I want to encourage people, do not feel down about what's going on in our world. Keep our focus on God, right, Kathy? Keep our focus on Our Lady. Say a rosary.
And avail of the graces. Avail of the graces.
Yes.
Yeah, and your Divine Will Day is coming up, Carol, and the feast
Yes.
day of Saint
And the
Faustina.
feast day, I was just saying earlier on, we just put out a reminder to people that it's happening on the 5th of October, 2 weeks from yesterday. So we're all busy with that. I've been offline because I'm busy doing other things, getting busy in prayer and keeping ourselves right for the big day itself. Lots of people are coming. So as well as our three speakers, Mother Gabrielle Marie, of course, and we have our own Sam Kaduri, and Daniel Shields is coming over from the north of Ireland. So again, we're super excited. But again, I'm just super excited, like I say, Kathy, about this whole Nihil Obstat for Medjugorje. It's well deserved, well in time, and it can only get better. You know, things can only get better out there, and hopefully will encourage more pilgrims to go out and stay in Medjugorje and experience it, because as you said, Kathy, unless you have experienced Medjugorje, you have no right to share any negativity on it, right?
Yeah, taste and see, go and see. Now's the perfect time to go. And, you know, be careful about what you say, you know, that it's not against God, you know, that it's actually for the things of God. And that's what divine will is about. You're either for the plan of God or against it. So be careful that you're for the plan of God, you know,
Yes.
which comes from through the church, through the Holy Father.
Yeah, and many great things. The fruits of Medjugorje are phenomenal. I mean, many priests have found their vocation through Medjugorje. So, you know, a lady has led the way. She's led the charge. So again, it's just wonderful to have this come out from Rome. So again, Kathy, thank you for joining me this evening. Short notice, but hopefully, like I say, it'll encourage people who are watching. Thank you, friends, for watching. Anything, Kathy, before we close?
It's great news, Carol. I really see divine will starting to flourish and the effects of it. So I would say to people, keep doing divine will, you know, focus on the will of God, and let's go forward in faith.
And I just want to say this, friends, you know, some people may find divine will, you know, a whole new devotion to their spiritual life, but it's not. With the new Jubilee coming up, this is an ideal time for you to embrace it. Just imagine what you can achieve for heaven if you embrace the divine will as we enter into this Jubilee year. Kathy, just speak into that before we go, because
Carol, all it is a strong decision for God, a strong decision for the good.
Yeah.
And we will be united in that good if we all make a strong decision for Jesus, who reconciles us back to the Father. And we want that peace, you know, go the way of peace and joy. But there's only one way, and that's to accept God's will, accept God's plan. So don't go against God. Don't speak against God. Support the church, build up the church, you know, and we'll be happy.
So again, friends, you know, all it is saying your yes.
And trust in God, complete trust in God. He's in charge.
Complete trust in God, friends. And, you know, you don't have to embrace what you think is another huge devotion. You just have to offer everything that you do, your prayers, your acts, everything in divine will, and the Lord will do the rest, right?
Accept the love and mercy of God. That's what it's about. Most people, they cannot accept the love and mercy of God. The Jubilee next year mercy has been offered to everybody. Are they going to accept it? You know, let's see.
Amen to that. Well, look, friends, thank you for joining me. Kathy, thank you over there in Medjugorje. Thank you, friends. Until next time, thank you for joining me for this short conversation on the great news about Medjugorje and, of course, a little bit about divine will. Thank you, friends. Until next time, bye for now.
God bless, Carl.